think with real estate, it's very similar, right? Real estate is supposed to make money and perform and cash flow and have tenants. And I think you have to be ready for all of those things to go wrong. And the best saying I like is, if it can go wrong, it probably will. So, you sit through lectures about having insurance and knowing, how to legally protect your assets and how to prevent lawsuits and things like that. All those things will happen. I have over 50,000 units at this point. And, so now you have 50,000 customers transacting on your properties. Like something is going to happen. So you just have to be ready for it. And so I think an example would be something like interest rate environment, right? We had interest rate rates that were low, and then we had interest rates spike to 5.5% over a course of a couple of years. And, that created a lot of pain in real estate. And so, things to mitigate that are like fixed rate debt, which we had on our portfolio, or not leveraging too much. When you're a pilot, you can leverage too much as a pilot. Maybe you go to the airport and you're not feeling that great. Or maybe you're flying an airplane you don't have that much experience in. Or maybe you skip a checklist, or you just didn't have breakfast that morning. And then you're kind of rushing. And then the gate agent wants you to do something that, wait for some passengers or delay the flight a little bit more. Or maybe the weather minimums. And all those things sort of line up, and then you have an accident, right? You already have a problem, right? And so we call that the Swiss cheese model, right? Where if you imagine a bunch of pieces of cheese and all the holes line up perfectly, and you can get through all the holes, you have an accident. And so an accident doesn't happen for one reason. You don't just have an airline crash for one reason, right? You have a series of events. Anybody who's seen an aviation show has probably saw that, right? Where it's like this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and then it was a problem.